Hello guys, welcome back again to the channel Side. My name is Dami. It's been a whole long while since I last uploaded on this channel, and that's because I just needed to take some break, and I'm happy I did. So if you're not new on this channel and you know that I've been away for some time and yet you sticked around with me, I say thank you so much. I appreciate. And if you're new here as well, you're welcome to the channel. So from the title of the video, I uh, I just really don't know where to start this video from, because it's a thing that it's really hard to explain, honestly, and I believe some people can relate. So I will just try my best to share as much as I can, so it can probably help someone out there. I hope this is not going to be such a long video, because there is a lot to be said, but just difficult to say it at the same time. So I will try to keep it as short as possible. I've been hearing of depression from, I don't know since when, but I always think that depression is something that happens to older people. I never thought it's something that could happen to someone of my age, as young as I am. But it happens, and thank God for education. And if I say education, I don't mean university degree or something. I mean, enlightenment, basically. I would say it all began when maybe when I got pregnant. Yeah, no, I can't say when I got pregnant, because my pregnancy was fairly smooth, I would say. There were a couple of issues with me during the pregnancy, like the regular terrible mood swings, and pregnancy depression, and just many stuff like that during the pregnancy. But I would say that it was a fairly smooth pregnancy. When I could really say it actually started was after I gave birth to my child, because I could remember the day I came back from the hospital after giving birth, and I just got into the house. I just looked at myself, I looked at the house, I looked at the baby, and I just started crying, like weeping uncontrollably, profusely weeping. I couldn't even say what was the reason why I was crying, but I just couldn't control myself. I cried for, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, I could say. And it's just weird. And I just knew in myself that something is wrong. I knew about the baby blues, postpartum depression thing, but I just couldn't explain. Anyways, that's just like the beginning of it all, I could say. So from after the birth, I've been like, I could just be sad for no reason. So the deep emotions and all of that lasted for about a couple of weeks after the birth. And then what would have been just the postpartum depression that we all know did eventually escalate to something more serious. I don't know what you consider as the highest level of depression, or highest, the worst that can happen to a depressed person. You name it, you think about it, it has happened, not happened, but I've been there, basically. I've been at the verge of almost about 2 times. TMI, 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 TMI. Let me just give you a quick, background about myself. I used to be this kind of person that is, very open, energetic, not like physically strong, but, I'm mentally strong, and I'm like open to people, very happy, and I was intelligent, I could say that, because even people say that to me, so I believe I was. I am, maybe. I had confidence, I had, I could put myself together pretty well, just like the regular young girl living her life. everything was just smooth basically. But I had sleep issues. Like, I'm this kind of person that I can't just fall asleep quickly like every other person. It's something I grew up to know myself to be. Like, even I, like, for example, gosh, I don't know how to explain things, but let me just, I'll just try. Like, for example, I can hardly sleep during the day. I don't take naps. It's not like I don't want to, but no matter how hard I try, it just wouldn't come. I'm talking about my adolescent teenage age. I could remember moments when myself and my sisters would be in bed at night, for example, and we are just kind of chatting before we sleep and all of that. And before I know it, all of them are gone, like they are asleep. And I'll just look around. I'll be like, oh my God. In the middle of discussion, they just fall asleep. And I'm like, how are people doing it? How are they falling asleep that easily? I just can't do it. It's not like I don't want to, but sleep just doesn't come to me for some weird reasons. At night, I could be in bed for maybe hours, 1 hour, 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours before I finally fall asleep. And then in those 3 hours, the light is off. Everywhere is quiet. I'm just laying there in bed trying to do so many stuff. Sometimes they tell me to count 1 to 50. Sometimes they tell me to read some books or something like that so I could fall asleep. But it just wouldn't come. It would take me so long time before I could fall asleep. That used to be me. I don't think I've seen anyone like that. Maybe there are people like that out there, but I haven't really seen someone like that personally. Everyone I know usually go to bed and fall asleep in 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, but mine is extreme. And that's just my kind of person. And it was okay with me because the moment I finally sleep, I just sleep. I don't wake up until it's morning. I don't even wake up to pee. I don't wake up to do anything. I just sleep. So usually I still get enough sleep even though I fall asleep late. So I just, try to go to bed as early as I can. And everything was fine basically with me all through the time. So it never really affected me. I knew it was like an issue, but because it never affected me at all, so I didn't really bother about it. I wish I could be that person that sleeps like every other person. I could remember the very first time I slept during the day. I can't ever forget that day. I remember I just finished my secondary school. That was the very first time I could remember myself sleeping during the day as that I can remember in my entire life. Like, probably I was napping when I was a baby, a toddler, but never when I was an adolescent or when I was a teenager. So that was the very first time, and it was so awkward because I couldn't even believe it was during the day. I was greeting everyone, good morning, good morning. I was doing my daily chores, thinking it's night. But that was it. Just to let you guys know that I had sleep issues. My sleep issue never had any effect on me until I started having kids. If I should say from my understanding and from words from my doctor, I would say that sleep issue that I naturally have is what actually caused the problem. You know how it could be if you just have a child. The child is demanding, want to feed all through the night, you're not getting sleep. And considering my nature that it takes me so long time to sleep, as a single, it was not a problem for me basically. But as a mom, it's a different thing because, for example, I just put the child to sleep and then I lay down trying to get sleep as usual, and and like I said, it takes me long time to fall asleep. And before I fall asleep, maybe in an hour, the child is already up and I have to feed. And again, the child sleeps and I try to sleep again. And before I could even fall asleep again, the child is up, I have to feed. And it just goes on and on and on and on like that, day after day, week after week, and month after month. And before I knew it, things already went really bad on me. It became so bad. I constantly have headaches, always tired, anxiety. Even my sleep issue became really, really terrible that I can't even sleep. Even if I get any chance off the child, I can't sleep. Sometimes I just ache all through the night. I just cry all through the night sometimes. Terrible, terrible thoughts coming through my mind. I lost my confidence. I don't want to pick up a call. I don't want to face people. I don't want to even talk to people. I don't want to go out. I don't want to do makeup. I don't want to look good. I don't want to even look myself in the mirror. I don't want to do that. Everything about me became a mess, I would say. I don't know why. I just can't explain, but I just became a different person basically. I don't know if anyone is understanding what I'm saying, but that's just it. I don't know. I don't know how to explain, but you know, anyone close to me could tell. If you knew me before and you know me now and you are really observant, you will be able to tell that something has changed, that this is no longer me. I'm no longer a happy person. Sometimes my mom or my siblings are calling. I just don't want to pick up the call because I just don't want to talk. I don't want to talk to anyone for any reason. Don't greet me. When I went to the doctor to at least get help, I was prescribed some medications, but then I was breastfeeding. So it doesn't work together. And my daughter back then wasn't ready to stop feeding. You can't take the med if you're nursing. When things was getting really worse, I had to try to stop feeding. I tried to stop. I did actually for a month. But then because she wasn't ready, she started to develop some strange habits of sucking her own tongue. And it was getting really bad that after I stopped feeding her for about a month, so I could at least treat myself and take the medications, I had to go back to feeding her. And then I stopped the medication because stopping breastfeeding at that time when she wasn't ready was, giving her also some negative effects, which I couldn't bear as well. So that was it. I had to keep on living with it for some time, and then I eventually stopped feeding her, and then I tried the medications, but then they didn't work. Why? Because they were meant to treat something else, I guess, anxiety and stuff like that. But that wasn't really my problem. Like, that wasn't really the cause of my problem. The cause of the problem was lack of sleep and stuff. Of course, there are medications that could help you sleep fast, but how do you sleep when you need to breastfeed at night? How do you sleep when you have, kids waking up and screaming and crying and whatever? It's just hard. It's just something that doesn't work together, and it's just that part of life that you have to deal with. Who knows what other moms, or probably my mom, had to deal with to have me. So it's just my own time to do the same. Even if someone picks up the baby at night for me so I could sleep and the baby is crying, I still can't sleep because my own sleep setting just has to be perfect. Kind of, it has to be quiet, and I'm not the kind of person that can just fall asleep when there is someone screaming somewhere or there are some kind of noise somewhere. So it may not be the same for everyone. Obviously, it may not be this bad for everyone, probably because they have nice sleep nature. Like, there are some people, if they have 30 minutes to sleep, they fall asleep within 2 minutes, and then they have 28 minutes to sleep. But that's not my case. If I have 2 hours to sleep, I probably struggle to get sleep for the whole of the 2 hours, and I don't get it. So if you are that regular person that gets sleep normally, then it's probably not going to be the same for you. So this video is not meant to scare anyone or something. Situations are different. Yours may not be like this. The thought that I'm going to be an ingrate if I'm not grateful for the beautiful life that God has given to me. And I know that there are people out there that are going through multiple of what I'm going through, like that are having it really, really bad. So those kind of thoughts are what is keeping me going. And, thought of my loved ones, family, friends around me, just keeps me moving on, basically. But honestly, it's hard to explain. It's really hard to explain. It's very difficult to explain, honestly. It's something that you have to really experience before you can understand, really. Of course, I don't wish this for anyone, so may you never experience this. So if you're in this kind of situation as well, know that you're not alone. Or if you are in an even more difficult situation, know that it will pass and things will get better, and you're also not alone. There's probably someone out there that is in that same situation or in even a worse one. So just kind of know that, part of life. Some things are just part of life, and we just pray not to have the really bitter part of it. And sometimes it just happens, and we just have to deal with it. So this is one of those things that I'm dealing with at my tender age. And sometimes I kind of question myself, like, am I not meant to do this? Like, am I not meant to have kids or something due to my nature or something like that? But then I'm like, it's what I want and what I have to do and what I need to do, and I'm in it and I'm going to win it. So yeah. Sometimes when I hear people say you have such a sweet life, perfect life and this and that, and I just nod, like, okay, if you say so. But what I've learned in life is just be yourself and appreciate what you have at the time that you have it. Because if you want to keep comparing yourself to someone else, you never can tell what they are going through. You never can tell what state they are mentally. If you keep wishing to be this person, you don't know their struggles. So just strive to be a better version of yourself. So that's about it for me, I guess. That's how how much I can put into words to avoid TMIs. And I hope this maybe helps someone out there if possible. And yeah, that's it from me for this video. I should be putting up videos from now on again, okay? So hope for more videos from this channel, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and thumbs up this video as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next one.